welcome back to Chemistry 1. This is Unit 5 Nomenclature, Lesson 5 Polyatomic Ionic Compound Nomenclature, and video number 1. So with this, we said what a polyatomic ion was, and on the back of your periodic table we have a list of very common polyatomic ions. So these are groups of atoms that behave like a single ion. And they have names, and they are listed here. So this is a reference sheet. You will have this for any tests, quizzes, anything that we would do. You are allowed to use this and your periodic table. So with this, we can see that we only have one here that is positive, and that is ammonium. NH4, and that group has a positive 1 charge. And then we have things like nitrate, nitrite, permanganate, acetate, hydroxide. So this group acts like a single ion. So when we go to name these all have a charge. So we're going to start here. Is the cation a polyatomic ion? The only one that we have is NH4 ammonium. So if we have ammonium, we're going to follow this side. Name the cation by looking up its name on the charge card. Well, it's ammonium. Is the anion a polyatomic ion? Yes. Name the anion by looking up its name. So we don't change the ending of these polyatomic ions. If it's not, if it's a single element, then we drop the ending and add IDE. So this no would mean that we have a single element. So if we look at an example, and we look at NH4, ClO4, well, we have NH4, which we know is ammonium. We write down its name. And then is the anion a polyatomic ion? Well, yeah, it's ClO4. It's not a single element. Then we would look up its name, and we would see that it is called perchlorate. So the name of this is ammonium perchlorate. If we look at a second example problem, you'll notice that this one we have parentheses. So if you see parentheses, you automatically know what's inside of there is a polyatomic ion. So our first thing here is a polyatomic ion. It's ammonium. The anion portion of it is just an element. It's oxygen. So we name ending by, or we name the second part of the name, dropping the ending and adding IDE, oxygen becomes oxide, so ammonium oxide. Now, if we look over here, does the cation have more than one available charge? Yes or no? We're going to handle no. All we do is name the cation using its full element name, and then we come over here and follow our yes or no. Is it a polyatomic ion? So if we look at an example, Na3PO4. If we look up sodium on the periodic table, it only has one possible charge. So we name the cation using its full element name, and Na is sodium. Is the anion, the second part, a polyatomic ion? Well, yes it is. There's more than one element after the sodium. PO4, when we look it up, is phosphate. So we just write down its name, sodium phosphate. You should now work on polyatomic ions, ion compounds number 1. These are all like the examples that we just went over, and I'd like you to cross off number 10. We'll talk about number 10 in class. So please complete this worksheet now.